private property shall not be taken for public use without just compensation. Means that if the government needs to take private property for things like building roads or public facilities, it must provide the owner with reasonable payment for the property. This means that the government cannot take private property without giving the owner for compensation. This protection is important to ensure that the individuals are not unfairly deprived for their property and the government is held accountable for its action. In our daily life, this amendment is relevant in many ways. For example, if the government wants to building a building road or a public building, it must first acquire the necessary land through eminent domain.
Hello everyone, my name is Gabriel Matapolka and I will discuss to you the Section 10, no law embracing that obligation of contract shall be passed. The section states, no law embracing obligation of contract shall be passed. It means that the contract shall not pass a law that will embrace, break, or suspend the contract or trade made between parties involved. The purpose of the non-enforcement clause of the Constitution is to safeguard the integrity of contracts against unwarranted interference by the state. As a rule, contracts shall not be tempered with by subsequent laws that would change or modify the rights and obligations of the parties.
Good day everyone, I'm Ricardo Neves Ramirez III from BCSM Section B. So I will discuss to you this time is all about Section 11 Bill of Rights. So what is Section 11 Bill of Rights? So it's stated here that free access to the courts and quasi-judicial bodies and adequate legal assistance shall not be denied to any person by reason of poverty. Section 11 just provide all people equal chance to be heard and to be tried in courts, especially if they are the litigants or they are involved in a particular case. They should be heard in a court with legal assistance or with adequate legal assistance to be provided by the government, so that the litigant or the person abused has no means to afford a private lawyer. Which leads to my point that Section 11, or because of Section 11, it established the Public Attorney's Office. The Public Attorney's Office exists to provide the indigent litigants, the oppressed, marginalized, and underprivileged members of the society free access towards judicial and quasi-judicial agencies. They're rendering legal services, counseling, and assistance in consonance with a constitutional mandate that free access towards shall not be denied to any person by reason of poverty in order to ensure the rule of law, truth, and social justice as components of country's sustainable development.
Philippine Institution, Article 3, Section 12. Any person under investigation for the commission of an offense shall have the right to be informed of his right to remain silent and to have competent and independent counsel, preferably of his own choice. If the person cannot afford the services of counsel, he must be provided with one. These rights cannot be waived except in writing in the presence of counsel. This is the definition of due process of law. Torture, detention, solitary confinement, force, violence, threats, intimidation, or any other means that harm his free will are against the law. Abuse of human life has no place in law. Fruit of poisonous or forbidden tree is the name given to any evidence obtained in violation of human rights. It cannot be used against the person who has abused his right. The state has the power to legislate, seek compensation, and rehabilitate to help victims.
Good day, I am Maria Teresa Managbanag and I will explain to you the Bill of Rights in Article 3, Section 13. It states there that all persons except those charged with offenses punishable by reclusion perpetua, when evidence of guilt is strong, shall before conviction be bailed by sufficient sureties or be released on recognizance as may be provided by law. The right to bail shall not be impaired even when the privilege of the habeas corpus is suspended. Excessive bail shall not be required. When we say reclusion perpetua, it is a penalty handed down to inmates who have been convicted of capital crimes as well as what the Republic Act 7659 designated as the heinous crimes, such as the murder, robbery with homicide, and rape. For example, if you will be convicted for reclusion perpetua, you will lose the right for parental authority and guardianship, and you cannot also exercise the right to vote or to be voted for, meaning you are perpetually and absolutely disqualified to run any position in the government. While when we say habeas corpus, in English means you shall have the body. It is a document issued by a court ordering the private individual or the government official to present the body of the prisoner or detainee at the specified place and time. To answer the questions what is this section all about is this section is specified to the protection of every individuals who are illegally arrested. This amendment will also give a protection to the accused for the right to bail for a temporary release, if the offense is not punishable for reclusion perpetua. This amendment is very relevant in our daily lives. Just like, for example, if the accused was arrested without warrant of arrest. In such case, the government official should conduct an investigation to determine whether the arrest is legal, and the court will also give the accused the right to bail while the case is still undergo trial from the court, but only if the offense is not a capital punishment.
Good day, I am Bianca Marie Patricio from BSHM Section B, and I am discussing about the topic Article 3, Section 14. So, Section 14 is no person shall be held to answer for a criminal offense without due process of law. In all criminal prosecution, the accused shall be presumed innocent until the contrary is proved, and shall enjoy the right to be heard by himself, and counsels to be informed of the nature of cause of accusations against him, to have a speedy, impartial, and public trial, to meet the witnesses' face, and to have a compulsory process, to have secure the attendance of witnesses, and to productions of evidence in his behalf. However, after arraignment, trial may proceed notwithstanding the absence of the accused, provided that he has been daily notified and his failure to appear is unjustifiable. So, we have two questions about this topic, and the first question is, what is the sections all about? So, Article 3, Section 14 is all about the rights and protections afforded an individual in criminal causes. It ensures that no person can be held accountable for a criminal offense without the proper due process of law. The sections guarantee several rights to accused. This include the presumption of innocence, the right to be heard by themselves and their legal counsel, the right to be informed the nature of cause of the accusation against them, the right to control and cross-examine witnesses. The accused is also entitled to have compulsory process to secure the attendance of witnesses and the productions of evidence in their favor. So the next question is how it is applied and used in our daily lives. So in our daily lives, these provisions remind us the importance of upholding the rights of the accused and treating everyone fairly within the criminal justice system. It serves as a reminder that no one shall be deprived of their rights without due process of law.
Article 3, Section 15. The privilege of writ habeas corpus shall not be suspended except in cases of invasion or rebellion when the public safety needs it. The writ habeas corpus is a fundamental right in the Constitution that protects against unlawful indefinite imprisonment. Translated from Latin, it means "show me the body." Habeas corpus has historically an important instrument to safeguard individual freedom against arbitrary executive power. As per definition, it is a law stating that individual cannot be imprisoned or held in custody inside a prison cell unless he or she first been brought before a court of law, which decides whether or not it is legal for the person to be kept in a prison. How it is applied and used in our daily lives. An offender who has been imprisoned files a habeas corpus appeal. The opposing party is the one who handles the imprisonment, such as the warden. If someone believes that they have been wrongly imprisoned because of a conviction based on discrimination, they can request a habeas corpus appeal. For example, if an individual convicted of an basis that their skin color match of the perpetrator according to eyewitness, but there is no evidence against them, then the individual can be appealed in habeas corpus in order to be freed from imprisonment.
My name is Biacael Darantinao, BSHM 3B, and I'm going to report or discuss Article 3, Section 16. All persons shall have the right to a speedy disposition for their cases before all judicial, quasi-judicial, or administrative bodies. This section is about the right to a speedy disposition of cases before judicial, quasi-judicial, or administrative bodies. It guarantees that every person has the right to have their cases resolved promptly and efficiently. In our daily lives, this section is applied and used in various ways. For example, if someone is involved in a legal dispute, they have the right to expect a timely resolution of their case. This ensures that justice is served without any unnecessary delays. And additional, this right also helps to prevent undue stress and anxiety that can arise from prolonged legal proceedings. Furthermore, the right to a speedy disposition of cases is important in maintaining a fair and efficient legal system and ensures that individuals are not subject to excessive wait times for their cases to be resolved, allowing for more efficient administration of justice.
Hello, I'm Maria Cindy Agres from BSHM 3B. I'm the one who discussed about Article 3, Section 17. No person shall be compelled to be a witness against himself in a criminal case. This means that individuals have the right to remain silent and cannot be forced to testify or provide evidence that would incriminate themselves. This protection ensures that individuals are not unfairly pressured or forced into confessing to a crime or providing evidence that could be used against them in a court of law. It also serves to uphold the principle of innocence until providing guilt, as individuals cannot be forced to contribute to their own prosecution. We have the two questions that we need to answer. The first one is, what is the section all about? The section is about the protection of an individual right against self-incrimination. It states that no person shall be forced to testify incriminate themselves in a criminal case. This protection is a fundamental aspect of the right to a fair trial and intended to prevent individuals from being coerced into admitting guilt. The second one is, how is it applied and used in our daily lives? In daily lives, their prevention of relevance in various legal situations. For example, if a person is being questioned by law enforcement, they have the right to remain silent and not answer questions that could incriminate themselves. The right against self-incrimination also applies in the court processing. where individual cannot be forced to testify or provide evidence that would lead to their own prosecution.
Good day, I am Ariel Gutierrez, and here is my topic, Article 3, Bill of Rights, Section 18. No person shall be detained solely by reason of his political beliefs and aspirations. No involuntary servitude in any form shall exist except as a punishment for a crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted. Section 18 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution Bills of Rights provide essential protection for individuals in the country. It prohibits the detention of individuals solely based on their political beliefs and aspirations. This ensures that people can freely express their opinions and engage in political activities without fear and being unjustifiably detained. Additionally, the section prohibits involuntary servitude in any form, except as the punishment for a crime after due process has been followed. This protects the individual from being forced to work against their will and ensures that they cannot be treated as slaves. Overall, Section 18 upholds the principles of democracy, equality, and respect for individual liberties. In our daily lives, Section 18 has significant impact in the way we exercise our rights and freedoms. It allows us to openly express our political beliefs and participate in activities that shape our society, without the fear of being unfairly detained or persecuted. This provision empowers individuals to engage in meaningful political discussion, contribute to public discourse, and hold their government accountable.
Good day, I am Jim Nenyo S. Malangit, BSHM Student 3B, and I will be discussing Article 3, Bill of Rights, Section 19. The right of people to be secured in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures of whatever nature and for any purpose shall be inviolable. And no search warrant or Q section guarantees the right of individuals to be protected from unreasonable searches and seizures. It ensures that law enforcement authorities cannot conduct searches or seizures without a valid search warrant or warrant of arrest issued by a judge. The warrant must be based on probable cause, which means there must be sufficient evidence to believe that a crime has been committed and that the place to be searched or person to be arrested is connected to the crime. In our daily lives, this section is applied to protect our privacy and prevent arbitrary intrusion by law enforcement agencies. It ensures that our personal space, including our homes, belongings, and private information, cannot be searched or seized without proper legal justification. This provision helps maintain the balance between the power of states to enforce the law and individuals' right to privacy and protection against unreasonable government intrusion. For example, if a person's home is searched without a valid search warrant and evidence is obtained during the search, the evidence may be deemed inadmissible in court due to the violation of individuals' rights under Article 3, Section 19. This section also ensures that individuals are not subjected to harassment or abuse by law enforcement authorities through unwarranted searches and seizures. It is important to note that while this provision protects individuals from unreasonable searches and seizures, it doesn't mean that the law enforcement agency cannot conduct searches or seizures at all. It simply requires that they follow the proper legal procedure and obtain a search warrant or warrant of arrest based on the probable cause. All for the Article 3, Section 19 of 1987 Constitution of the Philippines.
Hi, I am Andrea Serna. So this video will talk about Section 20, Article 3, 1987 Constitution. Most of us have encountered at some point. It is the quickest way of obtaining much needed money, but paying us back is probably the most difficult thing to do. Relationships break down because of unpaid debt, because the debtor fails to promise to pay the debt in exact way and exact time. But the creditors cannot make the debtor in prison. According to Section 20, Article 3, 1987 Constitution, no person shall be imprisoned for debt or non-payment of tax. Non-payment of credit card bills under Philippine law won't land you in a jail. Unsettled credit card debts are regarded only as a civil and not a criminal offense. According to the Credit Card Association of the Philippines, or CCAP, debt collectors are not supposed to threaten you or your property. A lot of them to do this over the phone or via text and emails just to get riled up, scared or panic enough to pay. What is the section all about? No person shall be imprisoned for debt on non-payment of a poll tax. This provision is enshrined in our Constitution as one of the rights of an individual. This provision prohibits the enactment of a law criminalizing non-payment of a debt or poll tax. How it is applied and used in our daily life. Example, the enjoyment of the rights. Let's say a person in the Philippines incurred a significant amount of debt due to a medical emergency. They were unable to repay the debt immediately, but they communicate with their creditor and agreed on a reasonable payment plan. The creditors respect this agreement and did not pursue imprisonment as a consequence of the debt. In this case, the individual's right under Article 3, Section 20 to not be imprisoned for debt is being enjoyed.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Joanne Batis. My topic is Section 21 is all about no person shall be twice put in jeopardy for punishment for the same offense. It's a constitutional principle known as the right against double jeopardy. Double jeopardy is a legal concept that prevents an individual from being tried for punished more than once for the same offense in the same jurisdiction. This principle is designed to protect individual from the emotional, financial, and social cost of repeated prosecution. For example, if you were charged with theft and the court found you not guilty, you cannot be charged with the theft again for the same incidents. These principles might not seem like something that applies to our daily lives at first glance. After all, most of us aren't involved in legal proceedings on a regular basis. However, it's an essential part of the justice system that impacts societies as a whole, so it indirectly affects all of us.
Article 3, Bill of Rights, Section 22 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution is the right of the people to dispose of their property, whether it be their personal belongings or real estate, and to receive just compensation in case of its taking or damaging by the government for public use or in the event of expropriation. This section protects the property rights of individuals and ensures that they are fairly compensated for any loss or damage incurred due to government action. The term just compensation refers to the fair market value of the property at the time of its taking or damaging, as determined by the government or through a court proceeding. The purpose of this section is to prevent the government from arbitrarily depriving individuals of their property and to guarantee that private property rights are respected and protected by the state. Article 3, Bill of Rights, Section 22 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution is applied and used in our daily lives when the government acquires private property for public use or expropriates it for public welfare or safety. This section ensures that individuals whose property is taken or damaged by the government are entitled to just compensation, which is the fair market value of the property at the time of its taking or damaging. For example, if the government decides to build a public road that passes through a private property, the owner of the property has the right to receive just compensation for the land taken from them. The amount of compensation is determined by the government or through a court proceeding based on the fair market value of the property. Another situation where this section can be applied is when the government declares a state of emergency or martial law and needs to take over private properties for temporary use. In such cases, the government must still provide just compensation to the property owners, even if the taking is only temporary. In summary, Article 3 Bill of Rights Section 22 of the Philippine Constitution is an important safeguard for private property rights and ensures that individuals are fairly compensated when their property is taken or damaged by the government for public use or in the interest of public welfare.